great game in McHale Center. We knew when we scheduled Boise State that they had a tremendous offensive team. I mean, if you like basketball and you watch the game tonight, you obviously see what I mean when I say they're a very difficult matchup for any team in our country. And, I knew that James Webb was good. My brother played against him last year in the NCAA tournament. He told me he thought he was an NBA player, and I would echo the sentiments that in our game, the college game, I don't know if there's a player at his position who he can't stand toe-to-toe with. I mean, he does everything, and he is a matchup nightmare, but part of what's so difficult in dealing with him is he has a partner who's, like a 6'10" two-guard who can shoot threes and is guarded by your center. So a lot of the drives that normally you can make block shots or you have a crowded lane, the lane opens up no matter how much you don't want it to because of how prolific they are shooting the ball. And, Dermott may have gotten injured early in the game. I think he played through it. But he's good too. I mean, they're a really good team. And I know they're going to Anaheim with us, but I believe they're going to have a great season. And it was a great team win for us because I really believe that everybody who played in the game for our team did something to help us win. And those are the games that you can build on for the future.
That's the first time that's kind of happened where the collective group really played well. Ryan only had 8 points but 15 points. A lot of contributions from all of them. 15
rebounds, 15 defensive rebounds. I think that shows you the immense talent that Ryan has. But the thing that I liked about tonight, and it's good for Ryan to go through, he didn't necessarily play his best game. He had some rough moments in the game, both on offense and defense, but he fought and he played through them. And at the end, you look at his stat sheet, and he ended up doing something that not many players can do, and that's get 15 defensive rebounds in the game. I also really believe that this was Parker's best game at Arizona. And I was disappointed that we didn't get him in at the end so we could finish the game. The end, though, went in a unique way. It went by really fast, and we were getting stop after stop, so we just kind of went from about the 4-minute mark to 0. But in Parker's minutes, I mean, we were really, really clicking. And I think that's a great sign for both him and us. This was a big game for him, and he's headed in the right direction. Really proud of him. He's got a great attitude, and he continues to learn and grow. I really believe almost like every day right now. The other guy, Gabe York, a senior, someone who's been here for a long time, who's been in so many games like tonight, it felt that way. And his 23 points, his 15 at the half, made big shots, and he looked the part tonight. He looked like somebody who's been through it many, many times. So happy for Gabe, happy for our team.
Sean, when you said that you believe this was a team that could shoot the basketball, was this the kind of night you were imagining that they would have? And did you think you were going to have perimeter scoring to win a game like this?
I did. Our defense isn't as good as it's been. Let me make the obvious statement of the press conference. So some of this has to also fall on us that where we are as a defensive team, we have to grow, get better. We don't want to get in these shootouts. That's going to be win 2, lose 1, win 3, lose 2, not being able to win on the road. But we have the makings of a better defensive team. You have to realize how many new faces are out there, new roles that they're in. And we'll learn a lot from tonight's game, and we'll be better. If we would have played this team 3 weeks ago, we would have been worse on defense. So I think some of it is to acknowledge that we have to get better. But what you can see on our team offensively is we have a lot of versatility in our scoring. Duson coming in the game, think about what he did in his minutes tonight. We made a lot of quality plays on offense.
Gabe seemed a little surprised almost. You took 15 threes in the first half. Was that almost too much, or because of the way the game was going, were you okay with that?
We shot way too many threes in the first half. When you play a team like Boise, you can sometimes get caught up in their game, and we did. That's the inexperience. We took, not ill-advised, but I would say we took 3 or 4 in the first half that you just say, come on, you can get that shot anytime. And but again, it's great for us to be able to learn in our 3rd game of the season lessons like that. Because on the road, or on a neutral court, or as the schedule unfolds, you don't want to be the victim of taking those quick, bad shots because it's almost like a turnover.
saw a tweet today that Allen had earned the gold jersey, I guess, recently. And then you have Parker, who comes in and competes very well. You must really like that competition now, where it's going to probably heat up even more.
Yeah, and it's not either or for us. Kadeem Allen has the ability to play with Parker. And as Parker continues to grow and improve, our way of playing him more doesn't necessarily mean Kadeem's the odd man out or he plays less. I think there's going to be value moving forward in getting Kadeem in as a third guard, because Kadeem brings things to the table defensively that not a lot of guys on our team do. And I don't mean defending the other team's point guard. He guarded Dermick a lot, and he's going to be that player that rotates throughout our schedule and guards the other team's best perimeter player. So Parker's emergence means that we can slide him over more. You know, Alonzo, same thing. You know, Alonzo, if you think about the stretch he went on in the second half, I mean, it looked like high school for him. I mean, he was scoring, he was efficient, and he's getting better on defense. Thought he had a good night defensively. So, you know, that's the one thing about our team, the versatility, the depth. We want to keep growing that. And it only takes one single play, and you're never as deep as you think. You know, Ryan goes down, all of a sudden they look different. So we have to see where he's at. And, you know, I think tomorrow's a much-needed day off for us. We've had a tough stretch, and it's only going to increase because our next game is on Sunday.
What's the biggest thing defensively right now, Sean? Is it the matchup? Is it switching? Where do you want to see the improvement?
You know, each team presents a different challenge. Tonight was defending the three-point shot, defending a very disciplined team off the dribble. You know, their coach is a great coach, Boise State. I mean, coming out after a timeout, it's a disaster. I mean, he has the ability to pick on you and get his players shots as well as any coach that we've gone against. And he's a very, very good coach. They're a very well-coached team. And that makes it even harder, because not only do they have tremendous skill, but he's moving them around. First play of the game, they actually ran a clear out with their center. I mean, we may play 200 games in the next however many years and never see a clear out on the left wing, like a fake ball screen by their center. But that shows you their skill level and how they put you in these tough positions. So there's a lot of challenges tonight that they gave us. But I would say the number one thing is defending the basketball, keeping the guy in front, containing it at all 5 positions, not fouling. And there's a lot to that, but we'll keep getting better at that. I'm sure about that.
Coach, do you prefer to have 5 or 6 workhorses who play 30, 35 minutes a game? Or do you like this, well, what you guys are going right now, where guys are getting 26, but there's not a huge drop-off to that second level?
Well, we as coaches have to, you know, put each of our players in the best position to be successful. So we talked about this in the fall. The strength of our team is our depth and versatility. And there's not a big drop-off between maybe our second or third best player, whoever that is, and our ninth. You know, the negative is there's a lot going on with that. You know, there's guys coming in and out of the game. I think on different nights, there'll be different players on our end who lead us in rebounding or scoring. And again, it always comes back to that sacrifice. And we have to keep our circle tight. We have to be able to move from one game to the next, continue to practice well, you know, block out the distractions that sometimes can happen, because as you sacrifice, that doesn't mean that someone in your world likes that. So we have a great group of guys. I love the fact that they care about each other. They're practicing very hard, and you know, I think we can really continue to get better. We're going to have our bad moments. We're not nearly as good as we've been the last 2 years at this time of the year because of our defense, but I think that this team has a tremendous upside if we keep working.
Anything else for Coach?
Just about Sunday's game, they lost their best player, but they scored a ton of points. What kind of challenge do you expect there?
I don't know a lot about them. You know, I know that they play a very fast tempo. They press a lot, and after the game, we talked a little bit about their best player unfortunately getting hurt. And you know, that's the hard part of scheduling too. You know, things happen all across the country, and you think one thing and you get another. Tonight, we knew Boise State was going to be a tremendous challenge, and it was. And we passed that challenge. Now we can learn from it and hopefully be better as we move into next week and the next game, which is Sunday.
Sean, where did you begin to see maybe a jump for Dusan and his footwork down there underneath the basket and what he came to do?
Well, Dusan worked as hard as anybody in our program the last 6 months. I mean, we have a sand volleyball pit, and I would say in the middle of the afternoon, he was in that sand volleyball pit 3 days a week with our strength coach, working. His body fat, he's gained, and you have to ask Chris Rounds this question, but I think Dusan, since he came here, has gained almost 40 pounds of muscle, and he's lost almost 30 pounds of fat. I mean, it's amazing the transformation. And when you do something like that in a year and a half, I mean, it shows his work ethic, and you see it on the court. And again, he's one of those guys I'm so excited about because I think the best is yet to come. Tonight, we weren't able to play Caleb and him together, but in the future, we're going to be able to do that as we have better matchups.